Hey guys, this is Mr. Paredes, and this is Module 2, Lesson 5, Simple Interest. Okay, this is in your Into Math 7th grade workbooks, pages 87 through 94. This video in particular will cover the Step It Out section, tasks 1 through 4, on pages 87 through 89, right? But you can use it as examples for the other assignments in this lesson. All right, so let's look at the key terms for this new lesson. Simple interest is a fixed percent of the principal. It is calculated using the formula I equals P times R times T, where P represents the principal, R represents the rate of interest, and T represents the time. All right, so let's look at number 1 on page 87. Big Money Bank loans $12,000 to Carlotta. This initial amount borrowed is called the principal. Carlotta has to repay the loan to the bank at a rate of 5.5% simple interest per year over 8 years. What is the total amount of interest she will have to pay on her loan? Part A, find the amount of simple interest I that Carlotta must pay after 1 year. So remember, our formula for this is I equals P times R times T, okay? So I equals the principal P, which was $12,000, times the annual interest rate, R, which is 5.5%. Now remember, I have to change the percentage to a decimal. Okay, I got to get rid of the percent sign. Percentages are always out of 100. Okay, like we've been discussing through this module. So I need to divide it by 100. And that will give me 0.055. So that's the interest rate that I want to plug into this equation. Now, when we multiply these, we will get 660. Now, if you notice, what we're missing in here is times T, right, for time. But it's after 1 year. That's what we're looking at. So this would technically be times 1. And anything times 1 is going to stay itself. So that's kind of why they didn't add it to this. But our answer for part A, Carlotta must pay $660 in interest after 1 year. So let's look at part B. Calculate the total interest Carlotta must pay over the 8 years of the loan. So the interest paid over 8 years would be how much we paid for 1 year, right? Which was part A, which was $660. And we're going to put in 8 for the number of years. Now, when I multiply this out, I would get, or will get, 5,280. So that means Carlotta's going to pay $5,280 in simple interest on her loan. Okay. Now, if we were using the actual formula for the whole thing, I would have my interest equals 12,000 times my annual interest rate times 8 for 8 years, right? And when we multiply all of this out, we would get $5,280. So I just wanted you to be able to see that with the actual formula, you plug in these numbers and you will get it. You will calculate it to the same answer that we just did, the shorthand version of. Okay, so let's look at Task 2 on page 88. Emilio opens a savings account at his local credit union with a $5,000 deposit. The account will pay 2.5% simple interest per year. How does Emilio's account grow over time? Part A. Find the amount Emilio's account earns in interest each year. So the simple interest for 1 year, so obviously this would be with T being 1, we have our principal times the rate. The principal is 5,000. And the rate, 2.5%, would actually convert to 0.025. Okay? So that's what that is. Now, when I multiply these out, 5,000 times 0.025, I get 125. So that means Emilio's account earns $125 per year in interest. Part B, write an equation for the amount of interest I, Emilio's account earns in T years. Well, our formula is I equals P times R times T, right? Pretty simple. We know that the simple interest for a year is $125 now. So I can plug that in. So all I have to do now is just plug in however many years for T, and that would give me how much simple interest it is over that amount of years. Now let's go ahead and look at part C. How much interest will be added to Emilio's account after 12 years? Show your calculation. Well, I know for 1 year, it's $125. So I can multiply that times the amount of years. And in this case, that would be 12. So 125 times 12 would give me 1,500. So that means after 12 years, Emilio's account would have a simple interest of $1,500. So let's look at task 3. Melanie deposits $8,200 in a bank account paying 4.4% simple interest. How much money will be in her account after 5 years and 6 months? So essentially 5.5 years. Part A, find the amount Melanie's account earns in interest in 5.5 years. Well, we're going to use our formula. I equals P times R times T, which is the interest equals the principal times the rate times time. Well, I know the principal is $8,200. The rate will be 4.4%, which I need to divide by 100, which is 0.044. And we're going to multiply that by the time, which is 5.5 years. Once we multiply all of this together, I get 1,984.4. Now, of course, this is dealing in money, so the amount of interest after the 5.5 years would be $1,984.40. Part B, find the total amount in Melanie's account after 5.5 years, or 5.5 years. So here we're just going to add the simple interest with our principal, the principal amount, right? Which is, this would be our simple interest, and this is our principal amount. So I have 8,200 plus $1,984 and that's going to equal $10,184.40. So that means Melanie's account will contain $10,000 or $10,184.40 after 5.5 years. So let's look at task 4 on page 89. Gregory borrowed money as shown to buy a used car. It cost him $10,650 to repay the loan. How many years did Gregory spend repaying his loan? So we're going to kind of work backwards to find out what T is in this case. But we're going to break it up piece by piece with part A and part B. Things that you want to look at and make note of. The loan was $7,500. And there's an annual interest rate of 6%. So those are important pieces of information that they give us. Part A, find the amount of simple interest Gregory paid. So the amount he paid or repaid would be $10,650. And I'm sorry, that comma looks horrible. Not going to be much better, but at least it's a little bit better. All right. The principal was $7,500, right? That was the original amount of the loan. I need to figure out how much he paid in interest. Well, I can take the total that he paid and I can subtract the amount of the loan. So that means he paid $3,150 in interest. Okay. So now we can move on to the next step, part B. So for part B, find the time T in years that it took Gregory to pay off his loan. Well, like I said, we know the interest is $3,150 now. The principal is $7,500, and the rate was 6%, right? And let's double check that. Yeah, 6%, which would be 0.06. Remember, 6 divided by 100. And we don't know what the time is, right? We don't know how many years it was. That's what we're going to solve for. But when I multiply 7,500 and 0.06, I get 450. Okay? Now, 450 times some number, which is the amount of years, gives me 3,150. So, and I'm going to write it over here just to make it a little bit bigger. And because we're multiplying these, the 450 times T, I want to figure it out. So I'm going to divide. This is the inverse operation. Okay, it's when we do the opposite of what they're already doing to undo it. Okay, these will cancel. So that means the amount of years, the time, when I divide these two numbers, 3,150 divided by 450, would give me 7. So that means Gregory spent 7 years paying back his loan. All right, guys, so that's it for the video. Hopefully it was helpful and you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to click like, let me know. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the video. All right, if you're one of my students, you should have subscribed already. That way you're staying up to date with the videos as I post them. Okay, and as always, make sure you complete and submit your work. All right, that way you get the credit for it. And as always, guys, take care.